Okay, who do I think is going to win, Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua? Do you know what? It's about time I made a video on this. This is not officially a boxing channel, but a lot of you are boxing fans on this channel, and I love boxing. I've grown up being a boxing fan since I was a young kid. And I'm going to answer that question in this video because some of you asked me on the live stream, and it's a conversation that I have a lot with my brother and friends. So I thought, why don't I just have the conversation on my YouTube channel? It doesn't mean that I can't. I can pretty much make whatever video I want on this channel, even though this channel is not a boxing news channel. But I can still get into it and say what I think. So I think I've always thought Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua, and I guess you guys are going to want to know my reasons, and I'll give my reasons. And it would be great if you could let me know in the box below what your reasons are. And you might be a Joshua fan or a Fury fan, and let me know who you think wins, why and how they win. And I'll say why I think Fury wins. I'll give my reasons, how I think he's going to win, and then yeah, we'll just go from there. And I don't know if you're new to my channel, I have been making videos for a long time, and I do make videos to help people to build their confidence, mainly people who have got anxiety and social anxiety. I suppose that's pretty much everyone. So I've been doing these videos for a long time, so you might find it useful to subscribe. And if you're not into boxing, I recommend you still stay on this video. You'll always learn something from my videos. You'll always get something from them. I always kind of relate my videos back to confidence and anxiety. So yeah, for those of you that are boxing fans, let me know, like this page. So I mean, if I'm just being honest, I think Fury wins. I'm confident Fury wins because for me he's just a better boxer than Anthony Joshua. And that's not taking away how good Anthony Joshua is. I'm going to get into that in a second. But just, you know, and I know I'm biased, right? I know I'm biased because I'm a Fury fan, but I would be honest, you know, I wouldn't be dishonest and say that I think someone's going to win just because I like the person. And I'll give you an example of that. I'm a Manny Pacquiao fan. Manny Pacquiao is probably my best fighter. He's my favourite fighter out of all, and I've got a lot of fighters that I like, right? My favourite fighters are Pacquiao, Joe Calzaghe, Sugar Ray Leonard, Nigel Benn, Lennox Lewis. I love Barrera growing up, De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton, Tyson Fury. These like the main fighters that I grew up watching. There's probably a few more, but they're the main ones that I love. So when Pacquiao fought Mayweather, as I was dying for Pacquiao to win, right? Because I was biased. I like Pacquiao. I like Mayweather as well, but I much prefer Pacquiao. But if I'm being honest, deep down in my heart, I knew that Mayweather was going to win that fight because I was just being honest. So I wanted Manny to beat Mayweather, but I knew that Manny's style played into Floyd Mayweather's strengths, and Mayweather did win, right? I still like Pacquiao. I still think he's got a better what he's achieved, but that's debatable, right? So coming back to Tyson Fury and Joshua, if I thought Joshua would beat Fury, I would admit it. I would say, look, I want Tyson Fury to win. I'm a Tyson Fury fan, but I think Anthony Joshua will knock him out or win. But I genuinely 100% believe that Tyson Fury beats Joshua because, number one, because he's a better boxer. He's got better footwork. In my opinion, he's got a better boxing IQ. He's got a better jab. He's quicker on his feet. He's got a better defense than Anthony Joshua. He's got more heart than Anthony Joshua. You know, Anthony Joshua has been knocked out. Tyson Fury's never been knocked out. So I'm going to look at every angle here. Look at the adversity that Tyson Fury's overcome in his life. First of all, he beat Klitschko. When Tyson Fury beat Klitschko, a lot of people didn't think Tyson Fury could win. They were laughing at Fury, right? And Tyson Fury went over to Germany and beat Klitschko in his backyard. And I know that Anthony Joshua beat Klitschko, but he didn't beat Klitschko in his prime. You know, Tyson Fury beat him when he was in his prime, and he totally dominated him. You know, Klitschko could hardly touch Fury. Fury played with him. So even that in itself is one of the reasons why Another reason is Fury beat Wilder. You know, look at what he did. And I'm not confident that Anthony Joshua could beat Wilder, and he didn't fight Wilder. Whatever we argue, oh, why did Wilder didn't want to fight him? Joshua ducked. I don't know for sure what the politics are and the business side of it, but you know, Fury stepped up after going through a mental breakdown and wanting to commit suicide. He was 28 stone. He was well overweight, so he lost all that weight. Had a few warm-up fights and got in with the most dangerous heavyweight at that time on the planet. And you can't argue with Wilder's record. People will always say, oh, he's not good now, Fury beat him. But people weren't saying that before Fury beat him. No one really wanted to fight him. He knocked out everyone, right? He's a really dangerous puncher. When Tyson Fury got in the ring on the first fight, it wasn't 100%. He wasn't in the best shape still, right? And he's still, okay, the fight was officially a draw. He clearly won the fight on points, right? Give credit for Wilder, he knocked Fury down twice. I can't see Anthony Joshua getting up from that knockdown, sorry. That was incredible what Fury got up from. That was like rising from the dead. I've never seen a boxer do that in all my life. I've been watching boxing since I was a teenager, right? I'm well in my 30s now. I've been watching boxing for about over 20 years. I've never seen a boxer get off the floor from being knocked down like that. Wilder knocked out every single opponent. So the fact that Fury has gotten up from such a bad knockdown that would knock out most boxers, that's what also, encourages my decision with regards to Fury beating Joshua. He's just got more heart. He's mentally stronger, and he's proved it on the bigger stages in how he's handled adversity in so many different ways in life. So he did that. Then the second fight. Fighting Wilder, he absolutely destroyed Wilder, and he totally changed his game plan. Tyson Fury is known as more of a box and move type fighter. He's not really known as like a Mike Tyson, come forward and knock you out and destroy you with combinations. So Tyson Fury has been known for boxing on the jab, being awkward, moving, feinting, jabbing, tying you up, and wearing you down. But for the second Wilder fight, he totally changed his game plan. Got a new trainer, went to the Kronk gym and adopted the style that I love, the Lennox Lewis style, the Tommy Hearns, coming forward, double jab, right hand with aggression, but intelligent aggression. Totally backed up Wilder, put the pressure on him, hit him with jabs, right hands, and dominated him. I don't see Joshua having all of these different tools in his armory, being able to change his game plan up. I know he can do it. Obviously, he did it in the second Ruiz fight, but he can't do it as good as Tyson Fury can do it. He just, from what I've seen, throughout looking at his fights in his career, I just can't see him being able to make those adjustments and adapt in a way that Fury does. Fury can box on the back foot. Fury can box on the front foot. Fury can fight on the inside. Fury can fight on the outside. Fury can win. He can win like not in the best way. In roughing the fighter up. He can win by knocking you out. He can get knocked down, get back up. He's proven it time and time again. He got up in the what fight did he get knocked down in? I can't remember the fighter's name now. Slipped my mind. It's going to come. The guy that was originally a cruiserweight who came up, Cunningham, right? In the Cunningham fight, he got up. There's another fight where he got knocked down. I can't remember the fighter's name. He got back up. So he's got a proven track record of getting knocked down, getting up and winning. And he's not been defeated. So you'd have to argue at this moment in time that Tyson Fury is the favourite because he's never been defeated. That's another reason. And I'll get to that. So I can't think of any other reason. And as I've said, I just think on the big stage, Fury's mentally more stronger. Now, that's not taking away the fact that you can't deny that Anthony Joshua, you can't say he hasn't been a great champion. He has. He's unified the division. He beat Klitschko. He got knocked down. He showed a lot of heart to get up in that fight. I think that was his best performance. He's beaten everyone that's been put in front of him. He lost to Ruiz. He come back. He got the win. I don't think it was a great fight in how he did it, but you got to give him credit. He got the win, so you got to give him credit for that. And he is a good boxer. He's got a great He's got a great uppercut on the inside. He's got good combinations. So I'm not knocking. I'm not saying that he's not a good fighter, but I just don't think he's on the level of Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury, by a country mile, is the best heavyweight in the world at the moment, ahead of everyone. He's ahead of Wilder. He's ahead of Usyk. He's ahead of Dillian White. He's just in a league of his own. And every time Tyson Fury steps up, he always wins. He always proves the doubters wrong, and he always gets criticised. He never really gets the credit. He's only starting to get the credit now. But I was watching Tyson Fury back on the days of Channel 5 when he was fighting Derek Chisora and John McDermott, and I followed Anthony Joshua's career. So I'm not saying it's going to be an easy fight, right? Because obviously it's not easy, and of course Anthony Joshua, of course he's got a chance of winning. You can't completely rule him out, but I've got to make a decision, and I'm very confident that Fury will beat him. I think the only way that Joshua could beat Fury is he has to knock him out. But I personally think, my prediction is that the fight's not going to go 12 rounds. I think Tyson Fury wears Anthony Joshua down, he breaks him down, and I think he stops him in the later rounds. I can't know for sure the round, but if I had to say, I reckon he stops Joshua in round 9 or 10. He breaks him down and kind of beats him in the way that he beat Wilder. That's my prediction, right? But I could be wrong. It could go to the distance, or he could even knock Joshua out. But I really think that Joshua is not going to be able to cope with Fury's confidence, his experience, his boxing IQ, his movement, his jab, and you never know with Fury. You never know what game plan he's gonna come in with. So I just think he's going to be a nightmare for Anthony Joshua, and I just think that, you know, Fury's been in with Wilder. He's been in with a better Klitschko than Joshua beat a younger Klitschko. And you've got to remember, he beat Klitschko in Germany. You know, Joshua beat Klitschko in England with 80, 90,000 fans behind him. Tyson Fury went into both backyards. He went to Germany and beat Klitschko, and he went to the States twice. You got the draw of Wilder. Most people thought he won. I thought he won that fight, and he destroyed him in the second fight. You know, and you got to look at as well. People say, "Oh, Tyson Fury hasn't fought anyone." Well, I don't agree on that, because so is Klitschko nobody. Then is Wilder nobody. These were great fighters, and he did beat some good British level fighters coming up, like Derek Chisora. You know, look how good Derek Chisora's been even up to date, and he beat Chisora twice. You know, there were other fighters along the way that he beat. So you can't say that he's ducked people. He never ducked anyone. From what I can see, he'll fight anyone. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great fight if it happens. But for me, I only see one winner in this fight, and I can't see anything that Joshua does that's going to outdo Fury, because Fury can bang, he can punch, he can take a punch, he can box, he can fight on the inside. And Joshua just doesn't have the movement that Fury does. He's a lot more. Joshua's got fast hands in spurts. He's got fast combinations, but he doesn't really have quick feet. He doesn't have a great defense, you know. And it sounds like I'm being harsh, but I'm only telling the truth. But he does have great power, Joshua. He's got a good jab. He's got great combinations. Yeah, he could knock out Fury, but I highly doubt. And I think if he did knock Fury down, Fury would get back up. I'll ask all of you a question. You know, does Anthony Joshua punch harder than Wilder? And it's obvious that he doesn't. So if Wilder couldn't knock out Fury and he hit him with his best shots, put him down and he got back up, what qualifies you to believe that Anthony Joshua can knock Fury out? And if Joshua can't knock Fury out, what makes people believe that Anthony Joshua can outbox Fury? It's impossible. He's one of the best boxers in boxing today, and definitely the best heavyweight. You know, Tyson Fury's just got so many styles. You know, he's got like a Muhammad Ali style where he moves on his toes and, you know, works off the jab. You know, he can fight very similar to Lennox Lewis, which he did in the second Wilder fight. You know, working off the double jab and the big right hands coming forward. He can fight. You know, he can rough it up on the inside. He can hold you. He can grind you down. He can hit you with body shots. There's nothing really that Fury can't do. And I forgot to say it. Fury's much fitter. In history, it's shown Joshua tires in fights. You don't see Fury getting tired. He's so fit. So I just think Fury, yeah, Joshua aesthetically is in better shape than Fury. You know, he's got an amazing body, but that doesn't win fights. He's got, you know, muscles, and he's a natural athlete in that sense. And Fury hasn't got an athlete's body, but the way he moves, the way his body functions, Fury's so athletic. So you can't just go by, oh, because Fury doesn't have a six-pack. Six-packs don't win boxing fights. So Fury's fitter, he's the better boxer. If I had to say, you know, I think if I had to say it, and I might be wrong, yeah, Anthony Joshua might be more of a powerful puncher in combinations. He's more destructive. I'm being honest, I'm giving credit, right? Other than that, Fury's got all the advantages. So I think for Joshua to win this fight, he has to knock Tyson Fury out flat. He has to knock him out. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that. I think Fury's he's too elusive, he's too intelligent, he's too smart, he's too crafty. So with that said, I'm trying to be as fair as I can. I'm not trying to leave out any things. And yeah, Joshua's improved, and he is still a great fighter. And all the fighters are good fighters, but Fury's just in a different class. And I think we're going to see that when they fight. But yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I would obviously I would admit that I'm wrong. I'm not a sore loser, but in my experience, from what I've seen, you can never back against Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury gets better. He rises to the occasion. From what I've seen, Anthony Joshua is very vulnerable when he gets hurt. Joshua is very good when he's going forward and he's landing shots and he's got the person in trouble. He's a very good finisher, right? But when he gets hit himself, he got hurt in the Dillian Whyte fight. You know, he gets hurt in most of his fights. He's vulnerable. And obviously every boxer is vulnerable, but I think Joshua's much more vulnerable mentally and physically than Tyson Fury is. He's been vulnerable in fights. He gets shooken up. He doesn't recover as quick. So Tyson Fury's got a better recovery. So there's so many advantages. And when it comes down to it, as you've seen over the years, in most cases, the boxer always beats the puncher. And if you had to argue, I guess Joshua is, you know, he's the bigger puncher in this fight, and Tyson Fury's the better boxer. And in history, it never usually fails. The better boxer always beats the puncher. If you go throughout history, you know, if you look at when Sugar Ray Leonard beat Hearns, which was a close fight, he won. Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao. Mayweather was the boxer in that fight. Pacquiao was the puncher, was more the fighter / boxer. There's been so many things. When Kawasaki beat Lacey, Kawasaki was the boxer, Lacey was the puncher. You know, when Lennox Lewis fought Tyson, Lewis, I know he wasn't a prime Tyson, right? But he was still a good enough Tyson. And Lewis was coming to the end of his career. Lewis beat Tyson. So the boxer usually always beats the puncher. So it's going to be interesting. And but yeah, I think Joshua probably beats everyone else. But I just think Fury is all wrong for him. He really is. He's going to be a nightmare for him. And mentally, he's so mentally strong. He's so good at getting into people's head. He's so good at the psychology, at winding you up. He's been to hell and back. He's not phased. He thrives in the big occasions. He's very good at holding his bottle together. And even if he did get knocked down in the Joshua fight, which I don't think is going to happen, I'm very confident Fury will get back up and recover and still win the fight, because he's done it you can only look at his previous fights, and I think they're both going to be in great shape, but Fury will take his game to the next level when he's fighting Joshua, and he will beat him. He'll stop him, he'll break him down, and it will get stopped through just punishment, or he will totally, you know, he'll win on points. He'll outbox him. I think he can beat Joshua two ways. He can beat him by just winning on the jab and you're not getting involved, or he can go forward and be more aggressive and back up Joshua and stop him. So that's my prediction. And let me know what you think in the box. But like I said, I'm not being unfair. You know, I say who I think's going to win. I don't go by who I like better. I say who I think is going to win, regardless of whether I like him or not. And I don't dislike Anthony Joshua. I just think Fury's a better fighter and he's going to win. So I'm not a gambling man, but if I did bet, my money would be on Tyson Fury. But look, if you disagree, that's fine. Let me know in the box below and give me your reasons and justify why you think Joshua would win, or let me know if you think Fury would win. But yeah, it's I hope the fight happens, because you never know in boxing, but if it does, for me there's only one winner, and that's the Gypsy King. Alright, see you soon.